In this video, we're going to be looking at part 2 of the IELTS speaking test. And again, we're going to be thinking about preparation, but not the long-term preparation. This is the preparation you can do when you're in the test. We're going to be thinking about using the preparation time and task card. There are two really great things about part 2 of the speaking test. Firstly, you get a task card, which tells you the topic the examiner wants you to talk about, and gives you 4 cues to help you think of ideas for what to talk about. Because of this, you don't have to worry about listening to the examiner's question and trying to understand what they're saying. It's on the card, and you have time to read and understand it. The only problem with this is that the examiner is not going to help you at all. If there's something on the card you don't understand or isn't clear, then you just have to guess and hope that you're right. The second great thing is that you get time to prepare. Unlike parts 1 and 3, you get time to really think about how you're going to respond to the task. It's so important that you use these two differences as well as you can to help you give the best answer you can. In this video, I want to give you some ideas on how to use the task card and preparation time so these two things can work to your advantage. When you're given the task card, it will look something like this. You'll get the topic sentence at the top, and this will be followed by 4 cues. This gives you a nice structure to follow for your mini presentation. You don't have to cover all of the points that are given on the card, but it probably helps if you try to. Really, if you speak for the 2 minutes and everything that you say is in some way connected to the topic sentence, then you've done pretty well, and you've probably covered most of the points anyway. However, the cues can help you keep focus and give your speaking a nice structure that is easy to follow and understand for the listener. The first thing you can do is take the topic sentence and use it to start your speaking. You shouldn't just copy exactly what it says. You need to paraphrase the sentence. So change the language a bit, but still keep the same meaning of the sentence. If you get a task like this one, then your first sentence could sound a bit like this. A film that I fancy watching when it comes out later this year is... You can see I've replaced the word like with fancy and see with watching. I've also been a bit more specific with the time expression, later this year. And I've added the phrasal verb come out. In this context, it means the film is released. By doing this, I've shown the examiner I understand the task well, and I've started my speaking with a focus on what the task card is asking me to talk about. After this, I would go through each cue and expand one by one, completely covering all my ideas on one cue before moving on to the next. But remembering not to directly read anything from the card. It's a speaking test, not a reading test. So firstly, I would explain the name of the movie and why it has this name. Then, what happens in the movie, followed by how I know about the film. And finally, the reasons I want to watch it. I would try to expand on each point as much as I can before moving on to the next. You can think of it like a paragraph for each of the 4 cues. I'll show you some examples of this in later videos. Now we know how to use the card, let's think about how to best use the 1 minute preparation time before you speak. When you get the card, your preparation time will begin, so make sure you read it quickly but carefully. You must understand exactly what you need to talk about, and have a quick think about how you can change some of the language in the topic sentence. If you're having trouble, unfortunately you might have to guess, but if you practice enough and prepare before the test, this is very unlikely to happen. Now you need to follow what I said in the previous video. Focus on ideas. For each cue, you need to write down a few ideas about what to talk about. Remember, you're only writing down key words. Don't waste your time writing phrases or full sentences. Once you've got some ideas down, you can start thinking of some vocabulary you could use and write it next to your ideas. This may be quite difficult to do in 1 minute when you first start practicing, but it does get easier the more you do it. Also, in later videos, I'll be giving you some techniques on how to prepare ideas. So that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and if you found the video useful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos.